Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a media I consumed video. I'm going to start doing these instead of doing like a monthly reading wrap up. I'm gonna do all of the media I consumed. So I'm just gonna let you guys know what um what is up. So I'm gonna start off. I'm not gonna start off with books. I'm actually gonna start off with music. So yeah, because that's like the honestly the shortest part of this video. That and I'm gonna start keeping track of the music that I listen to during the month, because I don't really do that, but I remember exactly what kind of music I was listening to. So yeah. So yes, let me just pull it up real quick. So yes, so let's see. Oh, here we go. So this I listened to um I listened to Love, Angel, and Music Baby by Gwen Stefani, and that is literally one of my favorite, like, hip hop. I don't know, like, I guess, yeah, it is like hip hop, kind of like rappy a little bit, not really, but just a little. And I love like that hip hop, like kind of like 2000s. It also kind of has like a 90, like late 90s, early 2000s vibe. Oh, this says right here that this album came out on my birth year. So yeah. Um hold on, there we go. So yeah, I love this album so much. It's like one of my like Gwen Stefani is just something else, and um I love her music. But this is like the album cover. So yeah, like I love this, and I really am going to get this on CD, because this is like one of my favorite albums that she's ever done. So yeah. Will I get more? Maybe like in CDs, but I don't know, because like this is just my favorite and I listen to it all the time. So yeah, because I was like, okay, I've been listening to No Doubt all the time, and I was like, okay, let me listen to like Gwen Stefani's regular, like by herself, like solo. And I was like, okay. And that this just like was this album was also just so nostalgic, because I I grew up on so many different artists, because I listened to the radio all the time when I was a kid. So just like listening to all this stuff like Holla Back Girl, and like listening to like Bubble Pop Electric, and also just like Harajuku Girls, like just like listening to this is was just like so amazing, and like just like listening to the whole thing. And like also Cool is like one like was a really popular song back when I was a kid. So but like I just want this whole entire album to be like, you know you know come back up and really get popular again, because this is so good. And I haven't not listened to her most recent album yet, but I'm saving it for a day where I just like want to listen to a whole album top to bottom. So yeah, but it's not that day yet, but maybe in the future. And then I listened to Hop by Stray Kids. I think this just released like not too long ago. Yeah. This released on December 13th. I listened to a few songs on this album. My favorite would have to be I don't know. I guess like Hold My Hand by this is one of Han's songs, and like this song is so good. I loved it so much. Oh my god. I'm sorry if I sound a little nasally. I'm like, you know, like my throat is like not the best right now, but I wanted to film this video. I meant to film this video like the beginning of this month, but but I just got so caught up in everything that I was doing that I was just like, because like I was trying to read books and, you know, watch like I've been binging and Love is Blind season 7. So yeah, because I just like was like I need to watch Love is Blind, especially because their new season is coming out this month. I think it comes out on Valentine's. Sorry guys, that scared me. My alarm went off and I was just so scared. That scared me. So, but what was I talking about? I don't remember. That just got me lost track of what I was saying, but the whole moment. But yeah, like as you guys know, like I really like Han is my bias from Stray Kids, but I do have like my other favorites, but for like he's been my bias for a very long time. But I think that Hold My Hand is like just like it's genuinely a really good song, and it was like one of my favorites also. I guess like I don't know. I don't know. This was like, but I feel like was also a really good concept. I really loved it. And then I listened to this one. I listened to this uh oh yeah. I listened to Pins and Needles. I listened to Heartbeat, and I can't really say this on my video, but P-Star, that's what I'll just say that. Hold on. I don't know if you guys can can I like get this away or something? I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, like from Aftercare by Nessa Barrett. Oops. But yeah, like this song right here was just it's so good, and she just recently performed that on Jimmy Kimmel, and I saw the clip of her singing her song, and it was just so beautiful, and I loved how she did it like acoustically and then turned it into her like pop, like, you know, kind of, you know, fun upbeat, high beat kind of performance. And yeah, Heartbeat is my favorite song on Aftercare. It's like one of my favorite songs on the album. But yeah, because I don't know, there's just something about it. But also like I really love when artists do this on their albums, but because like it feels like their album is like a whole story, and it's just everything just melts in together, and everything ties in together, like the words in like in one song kind of like, oh, like this is from this and that. So I love that. And then because Heartbeat goes like the ending of Heartbeat goes directly into the beginning of Disco, which is her next song on the album. And then the ending of Disco goes in to Passenger Princess, which I think is so crazy. Like it meshes well so well. It's so cool when artists do that. Like Madison Beer has done it. I don't know like who else like I've really seen who's done that. But I can't remember like off the top of my head, but like I know for sure because I love when she does that. So Madison Beer like does that all the time with her songs, and I love like how artists like, you know, when they put out their albums, like their songs, like it flows into the next song, and it just makes it 100% much more cooler than um just like uh just like any other like project of music. I really love that, and I wish like more artists would do that because I just think it makes it more interesting, and it flows a little bit better, and it makes for a much cooler musical project if they do that. So yeah. And then I was listening to something else. I don't remember. Um Hold on. Oh yeah, I listened to a few songs from Joni Mitchell, and I wanted to get more into, you know, the um I don't know, like I don't know which era they're from. I don't know if there's like from the 70s or something, but I guess so. I don't know. And then also I've been really getting into what is his name again? Something Coltrane. Is it John Coltrane? Something. I have no idea. I don't remember. But yeah, I've been trying to get into him and like his music, and I've been really wanting to get into, you know, jazz music because I just think it's such a I just think it's such an interesting music. And like just like the vibe of like it all is just so beautiful and magical, and I don't know, there's just something about jazz music that is just so cool and interesting. And yeah, I just think it's a beautiful work of music and genre. I think it's so cool. And then let's get into the books that I read. Oh, wait, actually, before we get into the books, let's talk about movies because I actually also have a much shorter list. So, oh my gosh, this is so annoying. Okay, so yeah, let's pull it up. So, hold on. Hold on, I'm like trying to figure. I'm like still a little bit new because I just like joined a few months ago on my Letterboxd, so I'm still trying to figure things out. So let me see. Where is it? Is it this? No. Where is it? I don't know. Hold on a second, please. Hold on. I'm so confused. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. All right, sorry guys, I'm back. I just had to uh figure this out. Okay. So, let's get into it. So, these are the movies that I watched this year in 2025. So, let's get right into it, and yeah. So the first movie that I watched this year was Little Women, and it is the 1994 adaptation with famous actress Winona Ryder. And this just like has always been a, comfort film, and especially like also I love watching it during the winter time. It's literally the perfect time to watch it because it literally starts during Christmas time. So just seeing this movie all the time, it always brings emotion. This movie is such a powerful movie. It's about womanhood, about girlhood. It's about the kind of like the actions and what is it to be a woman in the world at that time. So yeah, and like I feel like to this day it has a powerful, it has a powerful message, and it has a powerful, way of speaking to the audience. And yeah, I love it. It's such a comfort. And like I don't know, that movie is just so amazing. I love it so much. And then I watched Dazed and Confused. And I've never seen this movie before, so this was a very new experience because I don't think I've ever watched something like this before. And this movie was like I feel like it was very about like the adolescence of, was it what year was this? It's the 90s. Okay. So this it felt also, yeah, I feel like it was about like kind of like the adolescence of the 90s. I was expecting more of this to be like maybe the 70s or something because of the way that they were dressed, but maybe this was the 90s. I don't know. I honestly have no idea how they dressed in the 90s, but I feel like this is more of a 70s kind of thing. Um so yeah. I don't know. Oh yeah. So yeah, it says so yeah, this movie was released in the 90s, but it was filmed like a 70s film. That's why they're dressed like they were in 70s. Okay, yeah, because I was like, I feel like this is not right. But yeah, because it says right here, it was the last day of school in 1976. It was a time they never forget, if only they could remember. And yeah, I feel like it was like really the time of like the adolescence of the 70s, and like and like very much summer vibe, very much that kind of thing. And it also like it had like a nostalgic feeling to it, but not for me. But like just like the way like it was filmed and everything, it felt it had a nostalgic feeling. And I love when movies like feel like they feel like very like a warm feeling. But yeah. um I did not really love the movie, but I thought it was fun, but like it's not a movie that I would ever, excuse me, I'm so sorry. It's not a movie that I would ever watch again. So yeah. And then let's get into it. And then I watched Nosferatu, not the new one, but the one in, hold on. Yeah, this movie was released in 1979. And yeah, because I feel like there's like 3 or 4 different versions of this movie. And then there's obviously there's obviously the newest one that just came out. And this was just like something, I don't know, like this movie was kind of boring, but like you just want to keep watching it because you just want to see how this movie ends. And I feel like this was, you know, something different. Um cuz like I don't watch vampire movies like this. So I was just like I'm not sure what to feel in this, you know, situation, the vibe, because I watch like the kind of vampire stuff I watch is like Twilight, like that kind of vibe. So I have never really watched something like this before. Like obviously this is like a thing from Dracula, and then they filmed Nosferatu. Um, so yeah, and this one is called Nosferatu the Vampire. And this one, it looks like it's like a German director because their name is like Werner Herzog, and I feel like that's like a German. It's like a German like name or something. Oh, he is German. He is German. Um, cool. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, this movie was definitely very interesting. And then I watched Sabrina with uh by Billy Wilder. This movie was filmed in 1954 with Audrey Hepburn. And yeah, like uh this is like a definitely like a very interesting um like view on the love triangle trope. I feel like this is like one of the first love triangle tropes in cinema from like my viewpoint. Because I don't think I've ever seen like from this like era of time like a love triangle kind of romance. And I feel like it's not a love triangle for too long, but it has that trope, it has a little bit of that trope into this movie because yeah, because Sabrina loves what is his name again? I forget. Is it why did I forget? They literally say it all the time. It his name is David. She's in love with David for basically most of her life, and she's like, I am in love with David, and you know, his like he's kind of like this like player, like you know he's had like, I think it's mentioned he's like had like 3 or 4 engagements and weddings, and like he's been married like that many times, and you know that's like the kind of vibe that he gives off, and he's never really noticed her, and you know it's that kind of vibe. And you know Sabrina's father is like, you know, stop reaching for the moon, and stop, you know, dreaming and wishing of someone who doesn't wish for you back. And you know, and basically she goes to France for cooking school, and she comes back a new woman, and she comes back, and David finally notices her, and because she's a brand new woman, she's gorgeous. She was gorgeous before, but she was gorgeous. She's poised, and she's very like stunning and like having a sophisticated outfit on. um and yeah, like he is, you know, all about Sabrina. And then um Linus, yeah, Linus, he's like, this cannot be happening. David is engaged to someone else. This cannot be happening. So Linus is like, I'm gonna take care of this. And then Linus falls in love with Sabrina, and she falls in love with Linus, and it's a whole new thing because she's like, oh, like, I can't believe, like, and she's like, like and like also like, Sabrina's like, the moon is reaching for me now, so I can have the power and like how I do things now and like all that stuff. And she's like, I don't know what to do because like, you know, after all this time, like David finally wants me and now I don't want him. And and yeah, because she's now in love with Linus. So it's just like, it's a crazy, crazy feeling. And it's a beautiful, beautiful movie. And that's like also the double meaning of my moon tattoo. So yeah. So yeah, it's just a beautiful, beautiful movie. So yeah. And I love this movie. Um and then I feel like I like should have watched more movies than this, but this is literally the only movies that I have watched and finished. So, yeah. And then the last movie I watched was The Boy in the Plastic Bubble, and this is like young John Travolta, and like he's so cute. Like, uh, I don't know if you guys like. I don't know if like you guys can like see him, but like you see his face, but he is so like, oh my gosh. Like, I know like we've seen him in like, Grease, but like this John Travolta, like, oh my god, like he's so cute. he's he's like, but also like he has like a beard coming in, so I don't think he was like a teen, but he looks like a teen, but he's like 20, he's like in his 20s or something, or like 18, maybe 20s, I don't know, early 20s. But in this film, because I don't know, like he is just so, like he looks so young, like in this film. But yeah, this is also this is based on a true story. um this movie was filmed in 1976. It was directed by Randall Kleiser. Hopefully I said that right, I don't know. And yeah, he was born with a deficient or weak immune system, and he basically has to live in a bubble his whole life. And he, like, basically at some point he's just like, I want to see the real world, like I want to go out, because he falls in love with this girl, of course, and he's like in love with her his whole life. And he basically wants to see the world, and he wants to explore new things, and he wants to be with the girl he loves. And yeah, and yeah, and it just follows his life, as a teenager, and wanting to do the things that he's never done before because he's been stuck in a bubble his whole life. Well, in his room, but in a bubble room. And yeah, it's a really, really interesting story, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I thought it was so fun. And then let's head into the books now. So, yeah, hold on. Okay. Where is it? Oh, okay. So, the first book I read this year was, this feels so long ago. I don't know, like January was so long. I felt like, I was like, when is January going to end? It feels like that every year. Like, I feel like January like has been so long, but now that we're in February, it's just like, okay. We can, like, I feel like it's, you know, beginning to feel like a normal time, you know. But the first book that I read this year was Little Rot by I'm hoping that I say this name right. If I say it wrong, I'm super sorry. Akwaeke Emezi. I hope I said that right. I gave this book 3 stars. I did write a review because I had to. It was so crazy. And as you guys know, I'm not like someone who writes reviews all the time, and I don't think I ever will write a review on every single book that I read, but only if like I feel like I want to, if I want to, or if a book that I read is like really crazy and I have to talk about it. So here's the review that I read, that I wrote, sorry. So this book was a bunch of craziness. This was my first time reading something like this. In my eyes, this book is about the dirtiness of people and the nasty things that people do, whether they choose to hide it or not. Also, when we do see these kinds of things, will we do something about it, or will we put our heads down? After all of that chaos, the ending was pretty tame for what it was. So, yeah, this book was a bunch of craziness. This book was like not what I was like, you know, expecting it. Oh, this is like also like my first time reading like a Nigerian story, so I was like really just, you know, I was just like, whoa, like it's stuff really like that. And you know, like from this like type of thing, I was like, is this like this is, I feel like this is so real, and I feel like this is also like something that, like, you know, like we do talk about with, but we don't talk about all the time. And it's like the things that like we put our heads down for, is it worth putting our heads down for or speaking up about? And you know, it's just like, also like I feel like some of us like are just like, we're kind of just like, you know, we pick and choose our moments to speak up. And you know, is it worth speaking up all the time about, or is it not? And will, because sometimes speaking up will come with consequences, but also not speaking up also comes with some consequences as well. So we have to really think about, like, you know, like this story was so crazy, and the stuff that was going on in this book was like also so crazy. And yeah, like, and I was just like in the middle of this reading this book, I was like, I kind of want to stop reading this book, but I was like, this is exactly what this book was like about. Like, we're putting our heads down because like we don't want to, we don't want to see these kinds of things, but like, you know, sometimes like we do have to see these things because we would never know, and staying in the ignorance of, you know, some types of things is like not okay. But yeah, this was like like not, but yeah, this book was like really crazy, and this was also like a really crazy book to start off of. So yeah, like it was pretty crazy. But yeah, then I read Little Woman, which is like a crazy transition from what I, you know, read prior to this. But yeah, and I gave this book five. Oh wait, did I say what I gave Little Rock? Oh yeah, I did say 3 stars. Okay, so yeah, I gave Little Woman 5 stars because this is just a nostalgic read for me, because I loved like Little Woman. Like I said, like I love Little Woman, and just like reading the book for the first time was just like so special. And I finally finished it. I've been trying to read and finish this book for a very long time. I don't know why it's taking me so long, but I finally finished it, and I loved it. And yeah, and so let's move on. So I read The Assistant to the Villain by Nicole Mayer. I hope I said that right. But yeah, I I love this book. This book, amazing. This book, incredible. This book, so exciting, so intriguing. I can't wait to read the next book. It's called Assistant. No, it's called Apprentice to the Villain. I can't wait to read that one. But yeah, I just had so many other books to read, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait a little bit and then I'll read the next book. Then I read, oh my gosh, I love love this one. Um Also, I gave Assistant to the Villain 4 stars. I read Belladonna finally, and this one is by Adlin Grace, and this book, amazing. I gave this book 4 stars, and I did write a review on this one. I said, OMG, I loved this book. Everything about this book was so good. Um, Not like death, but like the character in the book. Death was so hot. Like the narrator's voice for Death. Oh my gosh. I loved it. I loved it. I said Death was so hot. And Signa and Death had so much chemistry, and the plot twist in this book is so crazy. Definitely reading the next book, which I am reading soon. I'm reading Foxglove soon. I can't wait to read it. And to see what happens next, because she's going back to um she's going back to her old home. So yeah, and I'm so excited because she's finally of age and she can inherit all of her money. So yeah, so now she can live in her place that she wants to live in, and you know, finally have some independence. And yeah, then I read The Book of Secrets, Unlocking the Hidden Dimensions of Your Life by Deepak Chopra, and I gave this 4 stars. I don't know, like this book was kind of like, it wasn't like eye-opening. It was like stuff that I've already heard before, but I just really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that one. And then I read What Happens in Love in London. I don't know what I just said. What Happens in London by Julie Quinn, and I gave that book a 3-star rating. It was not my favorite Julia Quinn, not my favorite, but I still enjoyed it. Then I read Wild in Love by Eloisa James, and I gave that 4 stars. This was so incredible. I loved it. Um, yeah, that's all I gotta say. I love that. And out of all the books in this series, I would say this one is my favorite. So yeah. And then I read Too Wild to Wed. This is the second book in the Wilds of Lindo Castle by Eloisa James, and I gave that 3 stars. And this is, I don't know, this one, I liked Wild in Love better than this one. And then I read Born to Be Wild. And this is the third book in the Wilds of Lindo Castle series. And I also gave that 3 stars. And then I read Say No to the Duke. This is the fourth book in the series by Eloisa James, and I also gave that 3 stars. And then I read Say Yes to the Duke, which is the fifth book in the Wilds of the Lindo Castle series, and I gave that a 3 star. And then I read The Princess and the Peer. This is the first book in the Princess Bride series by Tracy Ann Warren, and I gave this book a 3 star. This book was like, honestly, how in the world does this book, like, I feel like all the princesses in the series got kidnapped at one point. I don't know. But like, how are these people? Like, how are they getting kidnapped? Like, all of them are like, like, this is just like crazy adventure, that kind of thing. This book was honestly so crazy. And then I read Her Highness and the Highlander. This is the second book in the Princess Bride series by Tracy Ann Warren, and I gave this book a 3 star. And then I read The Trouble with Princesses. This is the third and final book in the Princess Bride trilogy, and I gave this a 3 star. And then I read What to Do with a Duke. This is like a part of a series. I don't know if I will continue to read the series, but I'll just read that for now. And this one was by Sally Mackenzie, and I gave this a 3 star. And then I read Minerva by Marion Chesney, and I gave this 3 stars. This is the first book in this series. I think there's 6 books, I think, or something. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, at first it was kind of boring, but then I was just like, let me just continue this, because I was like enjoying it, but like I felt like it was like very like pacing along, and like, the POVs kept changing, so like it was just not something that I was expecting. Because like so far in like reading like Regency romance like type, I've only seen at least like 1 or 2, and we're going off of like 3 different POVs at this point, so it wasn't something I was used to, so I think that's why I wasn't really enjoying it much. But yeah, and then I read The Taming of Annabelle, and this is the second book in the Six Sisters series, and yeah, and I also gave that 3 stars. And then I finally finished the Purity book series, book 4 by Skylar Mason. I don't know why it's not rated, but I would say I would give this a 3 stars, 3.5. And this one is Sin, a brother's best friend. And yeah, I truly recommend to read this. I really enjoyed the Purity book series. So yeah, and I think you guys would too. Um, and then please don't hate me. I did not know the things about her before reading the series, so please don't be mad at me. Um, but I read the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros. I read Fourth Wing, which I gave 4 stars. I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was so much fun. And then I read Iron Flame. I was kind of disappointed because I just felt like this book was not as good as the first one, and it was just not really like, there wasn't really any character growth with Violet, and I was just really not loving it. And then read Onyx Storm. I finished that yesterday. That's when I found out about this stuff. And this book I gave 3 stars because, like, again, like, I feel like there was no character growth, especially like all the things that has happened to her. I understand, but I feel like she was just going off of empty, and she had no personality at all. Like, she wasn't, I feel like time has gone on for a while, and I feel like she hasn't really changed. She's the same person that she has been since the beginning, and she's just a little bit more stronger. um she's like a little bit more physically stronger, but that's literally the only thing that has changed. And I hated that the ending left off on a cliffhanger. um yeah, I was not really loving it. But yeah, if there is a next book, I don't think I would read it because I'm just like, you know, I kind of think that it fell off after the first book, so yeah. So I don't know if I would ever read her books again. But yeah, that is all of the stuff that I consumed this month. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure to subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. And also make sure to subscribe to my channel so you guys can be notified, like hit the bell on like this subscribe button, so yeah, so you guys can see like when I upload. But yeah, I hope you guys like this video, and I hope you guys see you next time. Bye.